Welcome to Glow Up and Get Real. I'm Amy Ingle, the Sweet Face Injector, business owner, and trainer. Every week, we're injecting the latest on med spa trends, client concerns, and the boldest new treatments out there. Want the latest in safety, advanced techniques, and business strategies? You're in the right place. So, let's glow up, get real, and level up your beauty game. Lisa Vadola is the founder of Preschool Readers, an innovative company dedicated to helping young children unlock the power of early literacy. With a passion for education and a background in early childhood development, Lisa has spent years developing strategies that make reading fun and accessible for preschoolers. Through Preschool Readers, she's empowered countless families and educators to nurture confident, capable readers from the very start. Lisa's mission is to inspire a lifelong love of learning and give every child the head start they deserve. So, Lisa, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes. So, I want to start out with some questions. First thing I wanted to ask, can you share the story behind founding Preschool Readers and what inspired you to start this journey?
Yes. So at Preschool Readers, we help preschoolers learn to read, and we support the professionals who work with them. For years, I was a special needs kindergarten teacher, which I absolutely loved. I worked with students on the autism spectrum, Down syndrome students, nonverbal students, and I quickly came to realize that there was a disconnect between what they were learning in preschool, but expected to know at the start of kindergarten. And it really led me down the path of early literacy and creating a program where preschoolers could start kindergarten with a nice, strong head start.
Nice. Okay, great. Can you tell me about some of the signature programs you've developed at Preschool Readers and what makes them unique?
Yes. So we have an accelerated reading program. So not all preschoolers are ready to read, but for those who are, this is a nice accelerated program that gives them the confidence, the early reading skills to start kindergarten kind of ahead of the curve, because nowadays kindergarten is not what it used to be. When I was in school, it was half a day. And now it's full day and just so much more. They're expected to know so much more. So our accelerated reading program really gives students that nice, strong head start going into kindergarten.
Great. What about those that aren't ahead?
And what I should say is we do an initial assessment for those to find out if they are ready. And if they're not ready, we always just tell parents, come back in like 6 months, we'll reassess them at no cost, because at that age, they learn and grow so quickly that just 6 months later, they could be ready for reading. But what we tell them is to practice the early, those foundational skills of letter sounds, practice those things at home.
Okay. All right. So, what was the process like in designing and launching your flagship program? Any challenges or surprises along the way?
I am so grateful to say that it has been a complete joy. I think you know that I'm absolutely passionate about what I do, and I feel so blessed to be able to do something that I love. And I don't think there's been really, I don't know if it's just my positive attitude, but I don't think there's been anything that's been that difficult. I think it's just been learning and growing, and that's just my favorite part. I mean, maybe one difficult part could have been COVID, right, for a lot of us, but I turned our in-home reading program, I added the virtual component. And so now that's just a permanent model of the business. And it's been great because now we can work with students all over the US and all over the world, actually. But I wouldn't say that there's been anything that's been like a huge, I don't know, problem.
Yeah.
What was the question? Sorry, I just
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
messed that up.
how did you go from
Sorry.
like one-on-one in person
Yeah.
to online? Know that,
Yeah.
during COVID, it really changed things for a lot of businesses. I know it did for
Yeah.
Sweet Spot and for
Yep.
my Medi Spas. So, like, how did you come up with that concept and how did you dive into that?
Yeah. So actually, I was so hesitant to go virtual, right? Because we work with 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. And I thought they shouldn't be learning online. They're so little, they should be playing. But then I thought, well, I have to go with the times, right? So I had to think about how to make it engaging and active and hands-on and virtual, with the virtual sessions. And so I actually really enjoyed it because I just went full in and did a bunch of research on how to make it engaging and active and personalized virtually. And so we just added different components to the virtual sessions, and it's just going so well.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So, what makes your approach to early literacy different than from traditional methods?
So we there's a lot of reading programs. There's phonics programs, there's tutoring programs, but what I think really sets us apart is not so much what we teach, but how we teach it. We are really active, we're really inclusive in our instruction, really active, really engaging, and we really personalize our sessions. So I think the how is what really sets us apart. Also, all of the teachers have at least their master's degree in education, so that's a big plus because
Yeah,
they come
because
with a lot of experience.
right. Now, I was reading on your website that you started a mini library.
Yes.
Tell me
Yes.
about that.
The Little Free Library, actually, we started that in Tampa at a local park. Oh my gosh, that's so much fun. So it's you bring a book and you leave a book and then you take a book, right? So it's for the community. And then we also had free story times at the Little Free Library. So we would hire like the local princess company would come and they would dress up as, let's say, Cinderella and read a Cinderella story. And then all the kids came dressed up as Cinderella. So really helped to build a community in the park, just of reading and getting together and enjoying stories and books. And dressing up
Now,
was cute.
if someone's listening and they're interested in starting like a chapter in their community, do you help communities do that?
The Little Free Library?
Yes.
Actually, I haven't really helped anybody. I actually know my parents have a Little Free Library for adults and then kids, but I haven't actually helped anybody start it. I think the website offers a lot about that, about the Little
Mhm.
Free Library. I think I just went to I think it's just littlefreelibrary.org or com, and that's where I learned about it.
Oh, okay. So was this
Yeah.
a concept that you took from another
So it's
place?
already out there. Little Free Libraries are already out there, and most people do them in front of their home.
Okay.
But I thought, why not take it to the community and bring one to the community? And that's kind of where that
Okay.
came from. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some misconceptions parents have about early reading?
I think there's like the two sides that starting too early is not a good idea because they should be playing. And then some that just push too hard from the beginning. And I think we need to meet them in the sweet spot in the middle
Oh, nice
because
wording.
I think that if you're making learning joyful and playful and fun, then we should be introducing it earlier on because like I said, the standards have increased so much that if we can do it early, let's do it earlier and just make it playful. So
Okay.
meeting parents in the middle, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. So looking back on your journey with preschool readers, what would you say are your proudest achievements so far?
I love the community that I built with my teachers who I love, my students, my families. I think just building a community that really values early learning and more than and just the learning, just building the confidence and creating a love for overall learning, not just reading. I think that's probably my favorite thing.
Okay. Nice.
Did I,
Nice.
did I
Yeah.
answer that okay?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
that's
okay,
great.
sorry.
No,
Okay.
I love it. So, how do you keep young children engaged and motivated during
Yes.
reading lessons?
Oh my
I want to
goodness.
know
A
how
lot of
you do this in person and how you do it online.
Yeah, so most mo all of it is, I'm very enthusiastic, and as you know from seeing me,
I
I
could
have a lot
You
of
are always
energy.
every time I see you.
I know. I have a lot of energy. I think I when I hire, I'm very specific about who I hire. I want very high energy. I want, happy. I think just keeping kids moving is really important, and I think that giving them choice in what they do is really, really important, and personalizing learning. So, like, I just worked with a student not that long ago online, and I had a choice board, which is like just a board of pictures of Pikachu, who he actually had on his shirt during the session, so it was awesome. So he loved Pikachu and he picked one of the pictures of Pikachu and behind it, it said what we were going to do. So it was either going to say read a story, complete a worksheet, play a game. So he picked Pikachu and what was hiding behind that was our next activity. So I think keeping the sessions personalized, offering a lot of choice and keeping it high energy and active is what keeps 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds enjoying the session.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. That's probably a lot of fun for them. They don't look at it as work, it's
No, it's
play.
a lot of fun for us too,
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. Can you share a success story from one of your programs that really captures the impact you're aiming for?
Yeah. So one that comes to mind is recently a parent reached out to me. Her son had just been accepted to the private high school of his choice,
Okay.
high school. And she was thanking me who worked with her son when he was 3. Okay, 3. She thought enough to reach out to me to thank me for helping to build a strong enough foundation that he could get into the private high school of his choice. And that just
Wow.
made my day. We get a lot of comments and testimonials from families. I'm always honored when somebody comes back with like their second or third or even fourth child to work with us. That's always a big deal. But hearing that she thought of me at a moment when he was in high school and I hadn't seen him since he was 3 was that was a big moment for me.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So any
That
stories
is
like that, which we get a lot, but that one was, I don't know, it's just
that time
so
span
many
made it
years.
more
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, you're often told you look younger than your age. Has that
Thank
ever
you.
impacted how people perceive you as a business leader and entrepreneur?
Well, first of all, thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
It's actually really beneficial. It hasn't impacted me in any negative way. I think in early childhood, having that youthful, energetic, playful look and energy is really important. So actually, it's been really great in early childhood, I think, to have that younger look and energy about you.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I've had to deal with that in the past
Yeah.
before, which it's a compliment, but it's frustrating. So I can
Yeah.
see where it just kind of depends on maybe what
The field,
career
maybe?
choice you choose
Yes.
as to if you're
Yeah.
judged by your looks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
No,
it comes to youthfulness.
early childhood, even the other day, I was working with students. I kept saying, I love your necklace. I love your hair. I love your ear. They're
Oh,
just so sweet. Yeah. Like you said, it depends on the career field, but in early childhood, I think it's a benefit.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I've been waiting for 2 weeks, I think, to hear
Mhm.
all about your trip that you just went on.
Yeah.
So, if you could please let the listeners know, kind of from start to finish, this amazing trip that you went
Yeah.
on and why. So, if you could tell us the story, I'd love it.
Yeah. So, Preschool Readers was accredited by the United Nations to attend the Beijing Declaration high level meeting in New York City. And so, I mean, that was a huge process, right? We had to apply. They don't just accept any businesses. They want to really make sure that your work aligns with their mission. And so our work in early literacy instruction and the work with what we do with professionals really resonated with them and what they're trying to do because the Beijing Declaration is for rights, advancing the rights of girls and women. So they look at the work that we're doing with in early literacy, which is girls. And then what is the field of early literacy instruction? Teachers are mostly female. So, and we're working with teachers and training them. And so they accredited us, which felt like such an honor because so many of the businesses are nonprofit. And so I attended the meeting in New York, which was, just like a dream. It was amazing to be surrounded by so many important people. I mean, it was all world leaders, government officials, and they were there to share the ways that their country was advancing the rights for girls and women but also sharing the gaps and challenges that still exist. So it was pretty amazing.
Was this about the same time that Netanyahu and Trump what? Okay,
Yes.
they were
So
there.
I was there on Monday. They were all there on, I think Trump was there the next day on Tuesday. And I
Wow.
almost went back for another meeting, but then I was held up at another meeting somewhere else. So I didn't get to make it. But yes, it was all the same week. So
Wow.
security was insane getting in.
I bet.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. It was pretty amazing to be in that environment with just so many powerful decision makers,
Right,
and to be a
yes.
part
So
of it. Yeah.
did they introduce you as one of the
Oh no.
acceptants?
So basically, what we did was we sat in and we listened. So I didn't get to speak or share or anything. We
Okay.
just sat. We sat in the main. Oh my goodness, what is it called? The main building that you see, or the main room that you see on the news. That I
Okay.
cannot think of the word right now.
Like
You get to sit.
auditorium?
Yeah, but
Is it like
oh
a
my goodness, it's like okay,
is
anyway, you sit in the room and you hear them all the world leaders speak about what's going on in their country. So that's what we
Oh,
got to
wow.
do.
You could hear
If yes, and if you
you listened
can't
to all that.
understand like the language that they're speaking, they have like these little earpieces that you can put in and it translates for you. So basically what we were hearing was what's going on in different countries to advance the rights for women and girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's neat. What would
Yeah.
you say was most impressive when you were there, besides the security?
I think just being in a room where, like you said, the next day the president was there, and all these, just being in a room where so many important people have been, and where so many important decisions and conversations are made and had, I think was just the most impressive part to me.
Mhm. Yeah.
And to be acknowledged by the UN for our work was a really big like, I felt like that was a really big deal. I was very
It is a
grateful for
big
that.
deal.
Yeah.
You should be so proud.
Yeah.
It
I'm
is a
great.
big
Yeah.
deal. Wow. So tell me your next steps then with the United Nations. What is the next thing that you'll be
Oh,
doing with them?
so I don't know what I'll be doing next with the United Nations specifically. I can look into getting preschool readers full-time accredited. I think I'd have to be a nonprofit for that because I was accredited just to attend that specific meeting. So yeah, but there's some things that I'm definitely looking into to stay more involved because I like in the summer, I think I went to Italy to present, and the summer before that, I went to Thailand. So I'm really enjoying this global connection with other educators. So and
Mhm.
children. It's been really interesting, and I'm just learning a lot that I can apply to preschool readers.
Right. So would you say that your online program is now going to be useful for children across the
Yeah.
world?
Yes,
Okay.
we actually have worked with students in different countries. But the biggest thing that we're focusing on, which I briefly mentioned, was that I'm rebranding actually. And so I think this week or next week, or maybe by the time this airs, the new website will be live, and there'll be two sections to the website. So we'll have parents and caregivers, which will be our accelerated reading program will be offered there. But then we're also going to have educators and professionals. And that's where the biggest thing that I've been most passionate about lately is my instructional framework. And that's where I said that's what sets us apart. We have the reading instruction, that's the what we teach, but how we teach it is my instructional framework. So that is something that I've already started training teachers in the Philippines on how to use. And this is a instructional framework that can be used with any curriculum. So no matter what reading curriculum they're using, because like I said, that's what sets us apart, the how we teach. So that's my biggest, next thing that I'm working on.
Oh, nice.
And
You're
like you
such a
said,
busybody.
sorry. Yeah,
Say
and
what?
sorry to continue. And then on the educator and professional side, it'll be the framework, but it'll also be the accelerated reading program so that schools can then bring it into their schools,
Oh,
right? Because
nice.
right now we do work with students, we have worked with students internationally on like the tutoring end of things, but this will be they can now incorporate the reading program into their school, their
Okay.
classroom. Yeah.
All right. And how are you going to launch that with school system?
Yes. So preschools aren't really part of the overall school systems because school systems are usually K through 12, right? So it's really just making those connections, attending things like I have in the conferences that I've gone to and the United Nations and meeting people through these different networking events to share the program and then, meet preschool owners that way because usually in preschool they're independent owners. They're not part of the big school, which makes it a little easier to get into, I think.
Oh, okay.
You don't
The
have the
more
whole.
private is easier.
Yeah,
Mhm. Okay. All right.
yeah.
So I was wondering if you are going global, are you going to be hiring teachers that can also teach other languages, or is this just going to be English
Ooh.
reading?
Okay, that is something you are thinking way ahead of me. That is like one of my goals down the line. Yes,
Okay.
because when you've got the bones of just early reading, it's pretty much the same. And I do have family in Germany that has talked about using it there, but really using the English version there. But I would love to, like you're saying, one day um, have it translated into early reading for different languages, not just early reading for English learners in other countries, right? Because that's kind of, we already do that.
Mhm.
But yes, that is, I have lots of goals. That
Lots
is
of
one of
goals.
them. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, I'm like, yes, and what about all like the military bases?
Yep.
Yeah, you could really
In different
put it
countries.
in their
Yeah.
preschools there. That would be very helpful because they
Yep.
have limited resources abroad.
Hmm.
I am thinking with you. Ah,
I
this
know.
is
I believe
exciting.
me. It's like I have so many ideas that sometimes I'm sure you're like this too. You have to
Oh,
just like calm yourself and like one step at a time.
yes. Do you ever wake up at like 3 in the morning and you're like, shut the brain off, shut the
Yes.
brain off?
Yes. No, sometimes I don't go to bed till 3 in the morning. So yes, because
Ugh,
I'm up so late working on so many things. But that's why, again, I'm so grateful that I'm passionate about it, right? Because we're doing it
yes,
every day. Yeah.
yes. You have to be passionate to be an
Yeah.
entrepreneur and to be successful. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have some more questions for you.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to other young looking entrepreneurs who might face similar perceptions or challenges? Now, you said you really don't have challenges or perceptions that impact your business. However, if it did, how would you give advice since you are a entrepreneur?
Yeah, I would just say, yes, it hasn't happened to me in early childhood, but just know your stuff really. If you know what you're doing and you are um like knowledgeable in your field, I don't know why you would be questioned too much. But again, I'm speaking from somebody in early childhood, very female dominated um area. So I would just say, yeah, maybe be as knowledgeable as you can in your field. And then I don't know, that's
Mhm.
tricky. What would you say?
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
The more knowledge that you have and how you convey it
Mhm.
will give respect, and you can receive respect as well back. And I think that does help. I've always looked younger than you, probably the same, always looked younger than your age.
Yeah.
I know, like, when I was
You look
little,
amazing.
I would talk, and when I was like 3, 4, I would talk, and my mom was an English teacher. I, I said a lot of good grammatical
Yeah.
words and
Yeah.
phrases as I was
Yeah.
little, and people would just be astounded because I was so
Yeah.
tiny. But as you get older, sometimes people don't take you seriously,
Yeah.
when you're passionate like you are and like I am
Mhm.
about our careers, and we just are all get go and let's do this and let's start this, people look at you like you're crazy and you're just a dreamer. You have
Yeah.
to
Oh,
prove
that is
yourself for
true.
sure.
I definitely have had people go, "Oh, you're dreaming," or "That's just an idea." But I think just to just put your head down and keep going.
Mhm,
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
And you're
And
gonna
I
hit
think
some walls for sure.
yeah, and I do think now that I'm thinking about it, enthusiasm can be perceived as just happy and you don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right? So, but I just keep as you know, I'm getting my doctorate, so I'm still in school. I'm in my 3rd year. So I just keep trying to add to what I know, and I think that helps me. Underneath it, I know that I know what I'm doing,
Mhm,
and the things that I don't know, I try to or I'm always learning, always
mhm.
researching. But you're right, I didn't think about even just sometimes being too happy. People can look at that as that you're just happy and you don't really know what you're doing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're just flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
I've gotten that before. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard all kinds of different remarks back over the
Yeah.
years, so now we can be like, "Told you so," right?
Yeah, look at us.
"Told you
Yeah,
so."
I'm so proud of seeing everything you've done. It's
Oh,
amazing. Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
And same back to you. Yeah,
So,
you've, like, grown so much since I've seen
yeah.
since I
So
first met
it's
you.
been I know both of us, I feel like, yeah,
Yeah, we've really flourished.
yeah,
I think just surrounding yourself with other mind-like people really does help.
yeah,
Really
yes,
does help. So, thank you
yeah,
for your friendship.
yeah.
I do have a question. I know you talked about some of the things that you have planned going forward,
Mhm.
but if you could share any other exciting projects or expansions that you have on the horizon, that'd be great.
Yes. So the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is hopefully finally getting my doctorate. So I mentioned I'm in my 3rd year, so I am doing a lot of research, a lot of writing, which has been amazing for the business because I'm just learning and applying so much. So that is something that I'm looking forward to hopefully working to, finishing, I should say. The other thing is rebranding. So that website relaunch, and then getting my instructional framework, which is probably my biggest passion at this point out there is really what I'm focused on right now.
Okay. So you may not know this, but I'm going to
Yeah.
ask,
Yeah.
what are you planning your thesis on?
Or inclusive instruction. So I'm actually going to probably align it with my instructional framework. So maybe implement it in, somewhere and study it to see, like I'm doing a lot of informal observations and I see that it works. I see that our students love our lessons. I see that the teachers love it because it's engaging and fun. But to actually really study it and get data on it would be interesting. So that's where I want to take which is great, right? Because I'm taking what I'm already passionate about and I'm already doing every day, and now I'm going to be able to study it. So I'm not at that stage yet, and I don't exactly know what the research question will be, but it will be along the lines of evaluating how effective it is.
Yes, that'll be great because once you get that completed,
Oh,
that will
yeah.
help also with marketing to other.
Marketing. Yes,
Yeah, it'll
exactly.
be
Yeah.
great because 'cause you'll say, "I have data on my
Yeah.
own program." That's
Yeah,
really
and so
cool.
like I said, like right now I have testimonials and I have student feedback and observation, and I know it works, right? But to get the hard data would be great, like you said, for marketing and for
Mhm.
selling to districts and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So what is your sweetest tip of the day?
Okay, so my sweetest tip of the day would be just to have fun doing whatever you're doing. Because even when I hire my teachers and sometimes they'll be nervous, like, I don't know why they'll be worried that they're going to mess up a session with a student. I'm like, if you have fun, just you have fun, they'll have fun because it's contagious. And I really think that's why I just enjoy what I'm doing because it's just fun for me. I love learning. I love growing. I love working with the kids. And so I think that would be my tip, just to have fun. And I feel like you have fun doing what you're doing, right?
I
Every time
do.
I see you, yeah.
Yes.
So that would be
Yes.
my tip. Yeah.
I do. I do. Yeah. Um,
There's stressful moments, right?
there's stressful moments with any career, with
Mm,
any business that you own, but the overall, yes, I have
yeah.
fun, and
Yeah.
I think that's really important. As you say, it
Yeah.
is important to be able to go to work and not look at it as a job, but as
Well,
part of your life and you enjoy it.
yeah, and sometimes ever since I started teaching a bazillion years ago, I remember calling my family and saying, "I can't believe I get paid for this because I just enjoyed it so much." I do. I
Don't
just
say that too loud.
I know, right?
People will stop
It's
paying you.
I know, and it's not like we were paid a lot in education, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But when I was teaching, I just remember thinking like, it's just so fun to be around the children, and their energy is contagious. And so
Mhm.
if I just try not to take it too seriously. I mean, it is important. It's early childhood, but I think if we're having fun, then they're having fun, and that's what we really want kids to enjoy learning overall.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good foundation to start out with.
Yeah. Mm,
So you're starting with the littles and then as you
yeah.
see when they turn older and into high
Mhm.
school, their parents
Doing
are
well.
thanking you and sending
Yeah.
you thank yous and emails
Yeah.
and text messages. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
really
That definitely made my
making an
day.
impact.
Yeah.
That's great.
We hope
Okay.
that's our goal. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So how can listeners get in touch with you?
So they can reach out through our website, which is preschoolreaders.com. My email is info@preschoolreaders.com.
Thank you for joining us on the Glow Up and Get Real podcast. Here's to fearless beauty and real talk. Until next time.